once I made the conscious decision, like to forgive, to give grace, to realize like, okay, and empathize, like, maybe they weren't their best in those moments. You know, like I felt so much lighter. And even though those relationships were already gone, like the current relationships I'm in now, just making it like a duty to forgive and to be aware that that person need that forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you want people to give you grace.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want people to forgive you. And it's not easy.
No.
Like currently being in, you know, my own state of learning to forgive, it's not easy when you feel hurt by people, you know?
Because it's part of, I think a lot of times when I looked at forgiveness, it's I'm putting my feelings aside to kind of aid to this other person's, right? Or the wrongdoing that they've done to me. And I think what I realized is I don't have to diminish how I feel, right? My feelings are still valid.
Right.
However, I can let it go in my heart.
Right.
You know, I can begin, a lot of the healing begins after the forgiveness.
Yes, because you're cleansing your spirit.
Hey, Honesties. Welcome back to another episode of Honesty, the podcast with your host, Zena, aka Top Tier ZE. I am so excited for today's episode. I have a special guest with me. She is Kay from Made by Kay's Kitchen. Welcome.
Hi, girl.
Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
This is our third attempt, but third time's a charm.
God got it. Right? got us together, you know?
All the time. I know.
Right.
I feel like Candace Owen.
Right. God is good all the time.
Amen.
Oh, you seen that? She was like, amen. She said, wait, what comes after? I'm like, I can't.
I was like, girl.
Yes. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And I'm like, it's a long time coming. And I'm like, what better way to do it?
And this conversation is going to be good.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Rubs hand like Birdman.
Period. I'm going to get into my Fast Five.
Okay.
I ask you 5 questions of this or that.
Okay.
You give your response.
Okay.
And we keep it pushing or I might investigate.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Would you rather wear a 1-piece bikini or a 2-piece?
A 2-piece.
Okay, yes. She said body.
Yeah.
Is given.
It's either going to be extra thick or slim thick, but whatever way, 2-piece.
It's 2-piece in. Same hair. Do you rather cooked food or restaurant food? Like home cooked food?
Home cooked for sure.
Why?
It just tastes like it's made with love, first and foremost. And I feel like with home cooked food, 9 times out of 10, you can't get it wrong. Like restaurant food is always
inconsistent.
Yeah. It's always maybe not. Like
that's a fact.
Home cooked meal 100%.
And that'd be getting me mad when the restaurant food is not consistent. I'd be like,
and then you pay $40 for a meal and a drink, and you didn't even like it, and it's not on Grubhub, so you can't get your money back. Like, absolutely not.
And it's not on Grubhub.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Home cooked food it is. Would you rather bake a cake or cupcakes? Because, you know, you bake. You be in the kitchen doing your thing.
I would rather bake. I would rather bake cupcakes, but I would rather decorate a cake.
Explain.
So I feel like decorating a cake is more therapeutic. Right? It can be therapeutic too with the cupcake, but cupcakes are kind of simple.
Kind of tedious too, decorations.
Right.
So much you can do.
Yeah, but also, I mean, a cake could be tedious also depending on the design, but I feel like just the process of, you know, decorating a cake is just more, I don't know, simplistic. I take my time. Cupcakes is like, I got 30 of them, so I got to rush through it. Like, you got to, and then everything has to be uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a cake. But like I do really, really well with cupcakes and cupcake design, maybe because I started out with them. Cakes, I was fucking cakes up like early in the game. I was messing.
For a long time.
I was messing. That's why I had to stop. Like, I can't be doing people birthday cakes. It took me a while to learn how to do cakes properly. But for my own pleasure, definitely cakes for sure.
I get that. I don't bake at all, girl. I can't even bake a box cake, let me tell you.
Girl, no, it's easy.
My daughter can.
Yes.
I can't do any baking.
Do you cook at all in the kitchen?
You enjoy it? Cook. I love cooking.
Some people are like that. Like either they're a baker or a chef or a cook, you know.
Or both.
Some people do both, right?
Yeah.
Me, I am better at baking, but I like to cook also. And my thing is like, you know, when I think of people who can cook, like I don't think of myself. Like, no, like I'm not gonna lie. Like people who can cook, I haven't earned that yet. Like, I need some more time in the trenches before I can say I can throw. Don't get me wrong. I can make some amazing meals, but that's not a cook. A cook is like somebody like, you know, for a fact, when they come out the kitchen, 100% is going to be bomb. Me? It's like, it's a toss-up like the restaurant, right? It's like, because I'm practicing, you know? Like, nobody taught me everything I do in the kitchen. That's why I always make it very known. I'm not a chef. I'm not a chef. I am a foodie. Yeah. Like, I enjoy cooking, but don't get me wrong. With baking, I'm definitely well-versed in baking. I make it look very, very professional, like I've got, you know, training. But cooking, I did after baking. And it makes me sad because, like, my grandmother, she was such a good cook. And it's like, I never was, like, really in the kitchen with her. And then my mom was a working mom, you know? So now it's just like, well, I like being domesticated. So we're going to figure these recipes out. But I'm young, too. Like, I have to think about that. Like, by the time that my mom was my age, she had children.
Yes.
My grandmother had 4 children. Like,
times are different. Yeah. They had no choice but to know how to cook. Otherwise, how do you feed your kids?
Your kids
right?
are gonna starve.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't no Grubhub. It wasn't. No. You might get a slice of pizza. You might get like a little, but they weren't buying outside food.
Maybe once a month.
Yes, right. It was a luxury.
Yeah.
Got McDonald's money? Oh, okay. Like it was a luxury to, you know. But yeah, for sure, I am a better baker.
Well, we can teach each other something.
Yes, please.
I'll teach you some.
Oh, we can go to a class together.
Oh, let's do that.
Oh, wait. You said you're the better cook.
Yeah.
And I'm the better baker. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's better. Okay. We can, you're right. We can teach each other.
We teach.
We don't got to pay for the class.
Would you rather travel to Europe or travel to Asia?
Europe.
Why?
I've always wanted to go to Italy and just visit Paris. And, you know, I think those are real, like, girly places that people have fantasized about.
Yes.
And they have romanticized Paris and the Eiffel Tower and Italy. When I get married, I think I want that to be, you know, my honeymoon place. I don't know. I might travel before, so maybe not. But the food. I am a foodie. I want freshly made pasta. I want freshly made pastry. You know, like just all of those things. Like, oh my God, wine. I love wine. Like, I need to be in Italy. Like,
yeah, that's a wine region.
Yeah,
Italy,
like I need to, you know. Asia, as far as Asia, I haven't really I haven't seen, I guess, the spark for me specifically outside of like Japan, because I do like Asian food and I do love the culture of Japan, but even China too. So I don't know, like if I did go to Asia, it'd be Tokyo, but definitely I want to travel to Europe first.
Same.
And maybe Asia right after.
They're not too far away.
Yeah,
so
right? A little something.
It's doable.
Right.
All right, final question.
Okay.
Would you rather have a pause button on your life or a rewind button on your life?
Ooh, that is very good.
Thanks.
Okay, a pause button or a rewind button? Damn, that's a very good question. I would rather... I'm an impulsive queen, so that pause button would be amazing. I definitely would say pause, a pause button, because I feel like I believe it would have been rewind just because I have a younger brother who's no longer here. So if I had the opportunity to go back in time, but to go back in time is also to relive the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm very big on God and things happen the way they're supposed to happen. I don't want to, mess with that. But pause. I could think about some things before I do it, and kind of like really ground myself and center myself before I make decisions as the impulsive queen. So yes, pause.
I get that.
I think pause is more powerful, and you have the ability now to pause, right? Yeah. And it is powerful, and it has been powerful for me, for a person who's always in her head, and, just kind of grounding yourself and centering yourself is just really powerful. So for sure, pause.
I understand that. It's hard. When I wrote that question, I'm like, I don't even know what I would respond to that, to be quite honest with you, because are there moments I would like to relive just to be in that moment?
In that space, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also with the pause, it's like, when I look at the pause button, I look at it like I can be in this moment for as long as I want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Like, so you can savor it, you can appreciate it, you can. Yeah.
That's how I chose.
Yeah. So you would do pause too?
I would do pause too. I've had some great moments in life. Yeah. But also, the way I look at my life is that it's only gonna get better.
Yes.
So like, I don't want to
savor the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I feel like, those movies where people rewind and then things happen badly, that adverse effect, I feel like that would be a real thing. Like, I don't think it's healthy to like go back, because then sometimes you want to change things and then it changes the outlook on your future. So it's like, do I want to alter anything? I don't think. I just, like you said, I want to take more time in the now and savor the now. So
I like how you said that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That concludes our Fast 5 round. I hope that wasn't too hard. That was easy.
Good. That was good.
Okay. I was like, that was very easy.
Yes.
Usually people are like stumped. I'm like, damn, I got to work harder next time.
No, but that was really good. That last one was really good. Absolutely.
I thought about that while at my desk at work today.
Yeah, that was really good.
I'm excited about today's conversation, and I do want to let the people know a lot of this conversation is inspired by you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course, like I'm full transparency. So let's take it away.
Yes.
I'm
so excited.
Recently, Amanda Seales was on the podcast, Small Doses Podcast, and she spoke about a couple of things, right? She spoke about feeling like her authentic self when she showed up authentically. It wasn't well received by a lot of people that she had worked with or in a lot of the rooms she's been in.
Yeah.
And then feeling like she had to alter who she was to be accepted by, whether it's Hollywood or just the people she works with, you know, or Black women in general. Because something I did see was her saying like she felt like she didn't have the support of other women in the Black community. And I think when I saw that clip separately of the Small Doses clip, I was like, wow, it resonated with me, because I feel like when you're true to who you are and you're so authentic, sometimes people who are not that within themselves, it's hard for them to receive you.
Yep.
Right. And I feel like I respect her for like staying true to who she is and kind of moving in rooms where she is accepted, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's very important for you to always be yourself and show up authentically. But I think that it's a hard thing to do in the spaces that we've been brought up in as Black women, coming from the hood, coming from poverty, coming from survival. You being any ounce of difference almost feels like a threat to people, right? When you're only just trying to find your own way and just live the life that God called you to have, right? And I resonate with her, and that's why I kind of like brought up the clip of her in that moment, because I was going to repost it on my page. And I was just like, wow, like sometimes it's just like really refreshing to see that you're not the only person who is going through those things, because sometimes people make you feel like you're crazy.
That's a fact.
Like, girl, ain't nobody worried about you and your authentic self. Like, of course they're going to say it like that. Those be the people that are actually worried,
That's a fact.
But to see her, because she is, I think the word she used was too much, right? And we got to think about perspective. Too much to who? Like whom am I too much for, right? In the right spaces, you're just enough. You're more than enough. You're abundant, right? And I believe that that is our goal in life, to be abundant. But when you are conditioned and indoctrinated and really pulled to be a smaller version of yourself, it is very frightening to see someone that looks like you be in their full capacity, right? And I relate and resonate so much, having to be, protective of other people's feelings because I did not want certain energy towards me. Every time I show up 100%, I see the energy, I feel the energy. I've gone through that a lot in my life growing up. And it's just like, dang, like, why is it that me being myself, like who I am 100%, why is that so triggering for you?
Oh, why does it make you so uncomfortable?
Yeah, what am I doing that is, that makes you feel such, and it's a strong feeling, like when you are, she's like, girl, I know, like when you are yourself and excited to be yourself, happy to be yourself, and just ready to take the world by storm, like you said, that really makes people feel small. And you're not even doing anything intentionally. You're just wanting to be you.
Yourself, But it's those people who cannot be themselves, that's the trigger, because they see you living who you are, right? They see you being true to who you are, and they, whatever the reason may be within them that's preventing them from being that, there's a resentment, right? And that's a lot of people, when they see people doing what they're doing, instead of being inspired by it, they resent you, because like, why can't I show up like this, but she's so comfortable showing up like that?
What is wrong with me that I can't be in that, not like me, but in that capacity, the way that she is in her realness and her 100%. What is it about me, or why is it so hard for me, right? Or maybe I'm trying to be, but I'm not, and for whatever reason, everybody goes through different things in life. But the irony of that for me is that I seen that, like from early on, right? Like I saw the difference between myself and others, right? And it has nothing to do with being better than someone. It has everything to do with awareness of yourself, right? And a lot of people just don't have the awareness. And so something that I thought, and it still is a good idea because I still carry it out, but I was just like, no, I'm going to help everybody around me that can't see it for themselves, right? And I'm just like, I'm going to talk her ear off, and I'm blue in the face, and I'm going to show her this way, and when I tell you, do not go around giving unsolicited advice. Do not go where you are not welcome, because the resentment is strong. I've heard, conversations, oh, she's too much, or she do too much, or she talks too much. Am I too much, or are you not enough?
That part.
In this energy. Right? Because I'm not even the type of person to come to you like that. But when you are criticizing me and critiquing me, now let's really put it out on the table. Are you living in your authenticity? Are you 100%? Are you showing up for God the way that you're supposed to? Are you living your life 100%? And that's not my business, just the way that my life is not your business, right? But if we're going to put it on the table, we are supposed to be our best selves, right? And so I just think it's a bit unfair, but now that I'm more grown and I'm mature, I could care less, right? It is what it is. I'm not gonna stop being who I am. I was made like this for a reason.
Exactly.
Like God made me this way for a reason. So when I seen the Amanda Seales clip, I was like, girl, I feel you. Like, and so how I was able to kind of like reinvest that energy elsewhere, I started going where I was needed. I started going where I was called.
And how did you know, like, this is where I'm needed, this is where I'm called? Is it like the feeling, like, we are speaking about this, right? The uneasiness in your stomach, right? The butterflies. There's not a calm. It's like a storm before the... People like say the calm before the storm. I like to do the opposite way. When you have those feelings, the butterflies, the queasiness, whatever people want to call it. I like to call it the storm before the calm. Because I feel like stuff is about to blow up before you can like really see things for what they are, right? So was it like when you walked into those spaces or you met those people, was it like you felt an easiness around you? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you felt
I know what you mean. So I think it's about trusting your spirit and being able to discern energies and be able to kind of like take baby steps into, I guess, conversations and into relationship dynamics so that you're not too much. Because, you have the critique side, right? But you also have the side where you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you have a big energy, you have to know how to use that energy, right? You ever seen superheroes that have like big powers? And I think it was like the Hulk one time. He didn't know his strength.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need to know how to maneuver, and you need to know like your energy is not always welcome because the other side is not ready. Right? And you can't be selfish and, oh, well, God made me this way, so I'm going to shove it down their throat. No. And that was something that I did poorly because I thought it was innocent. I thought that that's what I was supposed to do. Hey, let me just help these people because they look like they need help. Right? But when it comes to self-development and learning yourself and building yourself up, it is a process. It is fragile, very sensitive. Right. And I really had to like say to myself, like, you're doing more harm going into spaces that are not ready than you are helping the person or yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not healthy and it's not constructive. So I start off with baby steps. And if people are open to receiving the small steps, then I go a little bit and then a little bit and then a little bit. And then it's like, okay, they received me. Okay, they're coming to me. And then that's just the best indicator when people come to you.
So you were doing more harm than good by like kind of forcing yourself. Not forcing yourself, but I feel like you kind of took it on as like a task. Like, this is my job. This is part of my purpose, is to help you see you for who you should be. Right? Like, I see you, I see your potential, but you don't see that. But it's that readiness in people that you have to let them, what they say, you can take a horse to water, you can't force it
make
to
them drink,
right?
And that's a fact. Yeah. For me, just kind of making that shift of knowing how to read energy was something that I had to learn. And that is what helped mature me, like in my calling, right? I was saying too before about the people who come to you because they believe that they're ready. And then you like, I literally had a friend like that, you know, that would come to me. And then when I would kind of give in the energy, it wasn't received well. Sometimes people believe that they're ready, but they haven't done the work to receive what comes with it. Right. You know, like in the space I am now. And let's say most people, right, who are looking to do higher things, because it's not just me, that comes with a lot. It comes with criticism. It comes with rerouting. It comes with discipline.
A lot of tests, trials, tribulations too.
And if you're a coach, right, look at all the coaches, look at all the mentors, look at all the trainers. All of them have a persistent energy. All of them have almost an aggressive energy or an assertive energy. And you have to follow suit. You came and signed up for this gym class. You asked for a trainer, right? So I have to push you into that space but gently push you, gently challenge you, right? So it's about that as well. It's about making sure that you know who's coming to you. It's about also, I seen something from David Shands not that long ago, the Sleep is for Suckers movement and brand. I seen something where he said when people pay for stuff, like whether it's mentorship or whatever, like they actually take it serious. They actually, you know, show up the way that they're supposed to show up. When it's free, it's like almost like there's no boundary there, right?
That's true.
And so now when it comes to like people that I know, right, and people that are close to me, like I'm not against having someone pay for something. I think it's healthy for us, friends or not, associates or not, you have a skill, let me pay for it. I think it's a very healthy thing. But it's almost like I don't even look that way to put my services or to give out services or anything like that, because it's such a muddy water.
Yes.
And it's just like, especially because we know each other personally, it almost feels so invasive and people are exposed, right? And it's like, who are you to be exposing me? They may feel comfortable with a therapist. They may feel comfortable with a teacher that doesn't really know them. A stranger. Yeah. Right. But you? Who are you?
That's funny because I was watching something last night and it's like, I'm never going to get into that context because it was about race, right? But long story short, it's like we never want to hear the bad or the critique from people who are close to us because it hits different, right? Like, you want that honesty, you want that transparency. A lot of people ask for that, but a lot of people can't receive that because no one really wants to know, like, damn, this is what you think of me.
Yeah.
And it can be for your own development and for your own growth. However, it does take a level of maturity to be able to receive those things, and even in friendships. And I feel like that's why a lot of people have surface level friendships.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid to make each other uncomfortable. They're afraid to challenge each other.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, as adults, how long are we going to keep trauma bonding and keep gossiping and keep like having these low vibrational friendships?
Where's the depth?
Exactly. Or because we're scared of hurting my friend's feelings. I feel like if we're friends, you should know my intention for you is the best. I want the best for you.
Well,
right?
Some people don't. It's so okay.
It's nuanced.
Yes. So I have my own PTSD with friendships, right? I'm tired, I had a friendship group in high school, and I believe a lot of it was trauma bonding, right? I'm mature enough now to understand that, right? Prior to that, I didn't get it. I didn't know why people were the way that they were. A lot of the times, everything has to do with environment and location, right? You are subjected to the people that are around you. And if you are in an inner city, inner city high school, all of us, we're on the poverty line. None of us are, whatever, right?
Sure.
And so with that comes a lot of unfortunate dynamics because we've grown up a certain type of way. We've learned unhealthy behaviors, right?
We become a product of our environment.
Absolutely. And then we take that and we put it and bring it into our friendships, right? They're not healed friendships. They're not healthy friendships. We're treating our friends how our moms, sisters, brothers, dads treated, like the dynamics we have at home is exactly what we bring to the friendship, consciously and subconsciously, right? And it's just like, for me, right? I had disconnects with, the friends that I had, right? And one of them particularly was very hurtful because in my heart, like, I felt like I've always rooted for her, right? I always wanted to see her win, not just with my thoughts and my words, but with my actions, And it's not that we disconnected, because I've had healthy disconnects from friendships. Sad, because I want us to be friends forever, but I understand why we had to separate. We've outgrown a certain layer of each other, right? Yes. God willing, because it was healthy. Maybe I'll see you in the future. Maybe we connect in the future, right? And if not, I'm grateful for what we had.
That experience with.
Right. Right. And with the friendship that was hurtful, it was because the ending, which I feel was kind of not honest, right? The ending was more about, quote unquote, her questioning me and how I thought about her and how I felt about her genuinely. And she would say things, and I'm just like, girl, I've known you for 15 years. I've never, and honest to God, hand up to God, in my heart of hearts, like, I've always seen her as my equal, always. Like, I've always seen her higher self, right? And towards the end of the friendship, it was like, oh, I was calculating. You said this at this time, and you said that at that time. And I'm just like, but first of all, I can have my opinion on things, but I've never said anything negatively towards you. I may have been critical, but we've all been critical to each other, right?
As we should be.
As we should be,
yeah.
right? Because
respectfully.
Exactly.
But
respectfully.
As we should be.
Exactly. But for you to question completely how I feel and how that's more of a personal problem.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it, like as I grew up and as I realized over these last couple of years that it wasn't you, it was more so how she received what you were saying because of how she felt about herself. Right? And she had family members that confirmed that, but for me in the moment it's like, dang, I'm your friend. I would never say anything to hurt you, anything that I say to you, but I had to realize, again, time and place, mindful of your energy, mindful of who receives it. Some people are just not aligned with the version that you are today. The version of them, it's not aligning.
Yeah.
You could be what Amanda Seals said, too much for that person because they're not in the capacity to receive it or receive it from you. Because maybe, and I believe this as well, sometimes people put you on a pedestal in their head.
Girl.
It's not even you.
Relationships, friendships, business, so often it happens. And they want you to live up to that version of you on that pedestal. And so the minute you're just yourself and it doesn't align with what they see for you, it's like, nah, you're the terrible person.
Right. You're horrible.
I don't match the version of you that you want me to be or that's in your head. I'm being ostracized because I'm the opposite of what you paint me up to be.
And then when you're on this pedestal, it's almost as if they're treating you not according to who you are in real life, but what they believe you to be in their mind.
Yeah.
Right. And so imagine if people have this, and I've gone through this like with family too. And it's just like sometimes it really hurts your feelings because it's like you are worried about a version of me that don't even exist. That's in your head.
Yeah.
Right. Like the real me, the down to earth me would give you anything. The down to earth me would teach you anything, would show you anything. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't connect, right? But again, that's a problem for the person.
Yeah.
It's not a problem for me because of who I am, right? But like I said, there's give and take. You also have to be, like I said, mindful of your energy, mindful of the friendships and the relationships that you start and that you build. Because again, that discernment, you need to know who is in alignment with your energy.
Yeah.
And you can't be above correction either.
No.
You have to be able to check yourself. I definitely know that I can be overbearing my energy and I've toned it down, and in my private life, I've had these conversations and stuff. And I never want to do something because someone says I should do it. I need to see the value in changing that part of myself. I need to see how you're now better and you're also more helpful to people instead of harmful with that change. And yeah, so I'm still going to be me, but I'm going to be mindful not to do too much too soon.
Yeah.
Be able to check your energy in that sense.
That awareness, it really does play a big role. It's not being able to check your energy, but also a big part of it too is being able to disconnect from people.
Yeah.
And to detach from the people who you aren't for.
Yeah.
Like so often it's so easy to hold on because there's familiarity, there's history, and I feel like it does take, especially with friendships, like long-term friendships.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Like
the worst.
Those are worse than the breakup.
Yeah,
like
it's more like what? Like these dudes, all right, whatever. But we were supposed to be BFFs for life.
I thought we would grow old.
We was gonna grow old. You're supposed to be my baby godmama. But I'm happy that God shows and does this when you're in a season of like growing yourself, right? As opposed to the season where you're more settled and you're building a life with your family, and because that could be a little hurtful too. Like if for my children, you know, to see a auntie one day,
yes,
and no auntie the next day.
Girl, let me tell you how I have to tell my daughter. She has this old auntie that she coined her favorite auntie bleep. And so literally over the weekend, she's like, "Where's Auntie Bleep?" I mean, that's my favorite auntie. I was like, Auntie Bleep doesn't exist anymore.
Aww.
And she's like, Mommy, what do you mean? I was like, we're no longer friends. We're no longer sisters. Like, things are just not what they used to be.
Right.
And, you know, like, just seeing the sadness in her eyes, it was like, damn, like, I hate that you had to be on this journey or this ride with me, you know, and it's not a ride that ends happily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's necessary.
Exactly.
And it's a life lesson that she's gonna learn on her own too. So at least the exposure to it is like, okay, I know that this happens.
Yeah.
I don't think I was prepared.
Yeah.
I think the one thing my mom told me was women are catty.
Oh, girl.
She's like, women are catty. She's like, you don't need a lot of friends. Women are catty. She used to say that all the time. And I didn't get it because I'm like, well, these my girls. These my sisters. These my everything. Like, they can't do not in my eyes. We what? Fantastic, fab. It's all about us, you know? But yeah, but I've seen it. Women are very complex creatures. We are. We're multi-layered. We're emotional,
yeah.
You know, we have insecurities. Those insecurities play out in friendships, relationships, you know, and I've been quote unquote close friendless for the last like 2 years, right? Wow. Like, because it went from like me having girl nights out and brunch days and, you know, on the phone with 1-2 hours, on the phone with another 3 hours. Like they were my family. They were my circle, you know? And this isolation period for me, it was about understanding why disconnects are important, understanding what growth and outgrowing means for you and for them, what respect and boundaries means for you and for them, you know, understand what healthy relationships mean for you and for them. And it like just being in this period, it's necessary, right? It was necessary. It is necessary. I'm in a space now of like getting back into the real world because I was cutting everybody off. Like you could get cut off. You could get cut off. Shit, they was cutting me off too. Like I could get cut off. Like, you know, but I'm happier now. I'm healthier now.
Lighter too, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel heavy, right? I still have to work on some forgiveness for some situations for sure. You know, like I still, because I'm sorry, this is one situation I was feeling really salty about, you know, but I had like what helps me is understanding that people are in pain. Yeah. Right. And I'm in pain too. Right. So sometimes it's like, well, you in pain, I'm in pain. Right. But if you're blessed enough to be aware of the fact that people are in pain, take that as a gift from God. Yeah. So that you can use it to move on with your life. You know,
I this is off tangent, but like I love the forgiveness part that you mentioned because I don't think a lot of us practice that enough. Yeah. And it took me being on vacation in San Martin to sit there and realize,
you
like,
look good, by the way.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. To realize, like, I was holding on to tainted relationships or holding on to these feelings I had from tainted relationships because I hadn't forgiven them. Yeah. Right. And then once I made the conscious decision, like, to forgive, to give grace, to realize, like, okay, and empathize, like, maybe they weren't their best in those moments. Yeah. You know, like, I felt so much lighter and even though those relationships were already gone, like the current relationships I'm in now, just making it like a duty to forgive and to be aware that that person need that forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you want people to give you grace.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want people to forgive you, and it's not easy.
No.
Like currently being in, my own state of learning to forgive, it's not easy when you feel hurt by people,
Because it's part of, I think a lot of times when I looked at forgiveness, it's I'm putting my feelings aside to kind of aid to this other person's, right? Or the wrongdoing that they've done to me. And I think what I realized is I don't have to diminish how I feel, right? My feelings are still valid.
Right.
However, I can let it go in my heart.
Right.
I can begin. A lot of the healing begins after the forgiveness.
Yes, because you're cleansing your spirit of that energy.
Yeah.
When you are still upset, that energy lingers, right? And so it's like, I don't know. It's like your mind, body, and spirit be fighting.
Yeah.
Like all day, every day, just squaring up. Like who next?
Who coming out on top right now?
Because some days I'm in spiritual mode, and that's what I aim to always, keep in my energy, that lightness.
Yeah.
But I won't hold you. Some days I'm in my head.
Yeah.
With your life. You know?
I this is off tangent, but like I love the forgiveness part that you mentioned because I don't think a lot of us practice that enough.
Yeah.
And it took me being on vacation in San Martin to sit there and realize,
you
like,
look good, by the way.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. To realize, like, I was holding on to tainted relationships or holding on to these feelings I had from tainted relationships because I hadn't forgiven them.
Yeah.
Right. And then once I made the conscious decision, like to forgive, to give grace, to realize like, okay, and empathize, like, maybe they weren't their best in those moments.
Yeah.
Like I felt so much lighter and even though those relationships were already gone, like the current relationships I'm in now, just making it like a duty to forgive and to be aware that that person need that forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you want people to give you grace.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want people to forgive you, and it's not easy.
No.
Like currently being in, my own state of learning to forgive, it's not easy when you feel hurt by people,
Because it's part of, I think a lot of times when I looked at forgiveness, it's I'm putting my feelings aside to kind of aid to this other person's, right? Or the wrongdoing that they've done to me. And I think what I realized is I don't have to diminish how I feel, right? My feelings are still valid.
Right.
However, I can let it go in my heart.
Right.
I can begin. A lot of the healing begins after the forgiveness.
Yes, because you're cleansing your spirit of that energy.
Yeah.
When you are still upset, that energy lingers, right? And so it's like, I don't know. It's like your mind, body, and spirit be fighting.
Yeah.
Like all day, every day, just squaring up. Like who next?
Who coming out on top right now?
And I'm pissed and I'm hurt or my heart hurt, like, so it's kind of like finding that alignment to where everything feels light.
Yes.
And it's not easy.
Like that. No.
It's not easy.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Because
sure.
Also, too, I think what happens for me, and I know this is a part of the process, where you think you're over it, right? And then something comes up and you're triggered.
Yes.
Or you want to step into new friendships and new relationships, because I have a lot of lovely people around me, a lot of beautiful energy. I've been meeting amazing people, including you.
Hey, the feeling's mutual.
Right. Thank you, girl. But I just been meeting amazing people, and then sometimes something will come up where it's like, okay, am I on guard? Do I need to be protective of myself? Okay, be too much, be a little bit like, I don't like that. It makes me anxious, about starting new relationships. And I'm just like, no, baby girl, you have to jump into the water, right? You have to trust that your period of isolation was for you. It was catered and tailored for you to provide you with the tools for the test, because these are tests. How do you know that you actually learned without the test and the challenge?
And some of those tests come in the form of healthy relationships, right?
Yep.
And it's like, I spent this time in isolation. I did the work, right? Now I think I'm ready to connect with people who are evolved also, right?
Yes.
And then sometimes you meet those people and they're so evolved, while, I mean, it's a work in progress no matter what stage you're at. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes that healthiness, the way they show up, the way they handle conflict, it's so good and you're not used to it. That be a test, and you have to level up, and right?
Yes, but that's the beauty in it. Right. And I see myself now in spaces with people, and that was a part of my what are we calling it? The theme for my year, right?
Do you want me to say it?
Yes. Yes. You got your theme?
I don't have mine. No,
okay. I'm like, okay. Sidebar, guys. We're talking about the theme. Again, David Shands. I've been on the Sleep is for Suckers little movement. Not little movement, big movement. Yeah, let me not even do that. And David Shands said that you need to have a theme for your life, for your career, for your brand, right? And so a part of my movement is, it's my movement, my theme is called CEO, right? Connect with people that have more than myself, right? Expand my brand and numbers, that's E. And then O, outdo myself every chance I get, right? So CEO. So the connect
and then
part,
and then I added 2.0 on there.
Oh yes,
we going up.
Right. But so now, right, CEO 2.0, like
period.
it's an inside. But yeah, so the connecting with people who have more than me part, that's a real thing. I'm challenging myself to put myself into spaces where people are thriving, right? I need to be in those spaces. And it's so refreshing. And it is so, like, sometimes I look at these people and I just be like, oh my God, I see me. I see the better version of me. I see the higher version of myself. And like you said, with the healthiness, right? Imagine coming from spaces where, because you're in survival, right? You're with people, the versions of all of you at the time is very, let's say, aggressive, very toxic, no grace, no forgiveness. It's just, you did something, you're the worst person in the world. I'm going to talk about it with all my other friends and we hate you. Like, that's how thick the energy was, right? When you're in survival mode. But then when you come to the other side, right? This beautiful, pleasant side where it's like a person giving you grace and a person speaking to you nicely. It really heals a part of me. Like, wow. Like, yes, I do deserve to be spoken with like this. Like, spoken to like this. I do deserve, but not only to be spoken to, but also to make sure that you give that energy back out.
Exactly. It's reciprocated. Yes. And there's a level of understanding too. Yeah. A lot of people sometimes, like you said, when you come from survival, they don't know how to receive that energy. And so a lot of times they think, well, what are your intentions? You know, like, why are you being so nice to me? And it's not even a matter of niceness. It's just a matter of respect. It's a matter of understanding. And it's a matter of, they probably see you for who you don't see yourself as yet. You know what I'm saying?
So imagine you being the person that you felt like you were doing that for people, right? And you said they weren't receiving it well. Don't become that person when you're in a room with people who have or do more than you. Be open to that energy. And I'm talking to myself.
I know.
Right? Like, it's like, be open, which I feel like I am. I feel like, you know, I just went to a networking event at Shopify and it was so amazing. And it is a little scary. It's like when you have a toxic boyfriend and you go into the new, and I literally went through that myself, right? I had a very toxic situation when I was young, and then went into a situation where the guy was with, like, my ex-fiance, where it was just like, he one time literally had to tell me, like, let me love you.
Oh, wow.
Like let me love, and because I was on guard. Like, I'm just like, nope, absolutely not. I'm not playing with you, her, him, that, nope, And he had to show me with his energy that you're safe. You are safe.
I was about to say, is that creating that safety for you to allow him to love you the way he wants to? You know?
Yeah. So that's my goal with my friendships too, to find safe spaces and to also be a safe space too.
I agree. I think whatever we ask for, whether it's relationship wise, whether it's friendship wise, we should be able to show up as also, you know, especially when you meet people who want that from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to just meet people and give them nothing really.
Yeah.
You know, like give them the glitz, the glam, the surface. That's it.
Users though, because what is the purpose of this
exchange of energy or the friendship, right? If we're not getting to the depth of it, then what are we doing?
If it's a friendship, right? Because what I'm learning and what I've learned in my isolation period is that not everybody was supposed to know me up close. Not everybody was supposed to have a close relationship with me. Some people were good for the club. Some people were good for Instagram. Some people were good from a distance. Some people were good as that person's friend or that person's family member. I was never supposed to be friends with them.
But that lack of discernment.
The lack of discernment. Exactly.
Clarify.
But now that I've gone through a healing space for myself, it's now I'm like, okay, I'm not eager. And let's rewind it all the way back. Why does trauma bonding exist? Why were you in situations to begin with that were trauma bonding, right? It's because you come from your household, right? And if you lack something in your household, whether it's perception or if you actually lack it, you go into the world not only looking for it, but being desperate for it, right?
Yes.
And so now I'm not desperate. Right? I remember I remember my ex-fiance telling me, he's like, why are you still friends with people that treat you like that? You know? And he would tell me and I would make excuses, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I wasn't 100% the best person in the world, but it was some things that were just clearly not okay. Right? And he's just like, why? You know, you deserve better than that as a person. And now, right, that I've detached and I understand that I didn't need to be so consumed with people's energy. Like, you're going to be fine no matter what. Now, because I filled my own cup, now because I'm healed myself, now I can go into a space, be my authentic self, right? Be mindful of my energy, but mindful of other people's energy. And also be okay with wherever it takes us, right? Being okay with that energy instead of, right, me and girl A, we go hang out and we have an amazing time for 3 months. And then on month 4, she does something crazy wonky. Old me is like, oh no, that's cool. We ain't perfect. Nobody perfect. I'm
making
still
excuses for her or enabling the behavior.
Exactly. And then it's like, I'm good. And then month 4 turned into year 4 and she's still acting wonky.
And you're still making excuses for her.
Exactly. That's old me. New me is like, you know, it's okay to separate. It's okay to love you from a distance. It's so, hey, maybe that it was just for that 3 months. God said, experience her for 3 months. Get what you can get. Give what you can give. But if the energy is not aligned, you must redefine.
Period.
You must reroute your ass and take yourself, because life is supposed to be abundant. You know, and those close friendships, because maybe you're just an associate, maybe you're just a hangout girl, right? Maybe that person doesn't have the capacity. So she shouldn't be your friend. She shouldn't be that close to you. Save that for the people that have the capacity, but also the alignment. So you're not like wondering if they're going to pour in. You already know. You've discerned the energy like, oh no, that's who she is. I'm not looking for her to give me something that she doesn't have or can't get. It's who she is. And not only is it who she is, she receives all of who I am. I fill her cup the way she fills my cup. We respect each other. It's alignment, you know? And so for me in that space, it's like, okay, this is a person I feel good bringing into my energy and giving my energy, you know? And so, yeah. And so I think that's key when you're learning who you are and learning other people, just choosing those healthy dynamics. But it ain't easy.
With ease.
Right.
It's not easy, but with ease.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to end, we do have to end, sadly. Welcome back to my show. Come back on another time.
Really?
Yeah.
So oh my gosh.
I know. It goes by like this.
Yes.
But the discernment, 1, and then 2, your awareness, like you said, and then 3, it's just realizing we are not here to possess people. We are here to experience people.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times that's why we hold on or we stay in these toxic, low vibrational, just relationships and dynamics that aren't feeding us.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to let go. We don't want to feel like we've lost that person.
Yeah.
When in reality, that person was never yours to lose.
It was never yours.
You know?
You're trying to put them in a place that they don't belong, to fill a void that only you can fill.
First and foremost. Yes. I love that. Ooh, I love ending on a high note. I wish I could have sing because I would have sang that.
Right? I can't sing either, girl.
Let them know what you're working on, where they can find you, your social media. Put them on to everything you have going on.
I'm saying. Well, my name is Kay of MadebyKayKitchen. I'm a food and lifestyle blogger. I basically do self-development for myself, but also other Black women who are on a journey. I love talking about the healing journey and just the glow up, the level up, working to be the greatest version of yourself. So you can find me at MadebyKayKitchen on Instagram or email me madebyKayKitchen@gmail.com, and I'll be back.
Yes,
God willing, we'll be back.
God already wrote it. He wrote it.
He wrote it, right? He said
he had us on
again.
a 3-hour-long phone call. He said, "Yeah, no, y'all gonna be together.
We're gonna link." You know, like it was ordained. It is ordained.
Period.
But I'm so excited. I thank you so much. This space is so good. It feels like a therapy session.
It did.
You know,
like a good therapy session.
Right, very light.
Yes.
You know, this energy is needed.
Exactly what I aim for.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on and being transparent and sharing your energy and your wisdom with me. I truly appreciate it. You guys will see her back on in the near future. So get acquainted. Okay. And thank you all for tuning in. We shall see you all next week. Bye. Oh, that was so
good. I could have talked for hours, girl.